Hey, Annie.
Annie cooking in the trailer park. I'm here for another segment of a fun special guest. And I don't think anybody's going to guess who it is. So we will say hello to Andre, Ginger, and Roxy, and Ricky, the Roadrunner, and Louie. Louie's here. Okay, Lou, come on in.
It's a gorgeous day.
Okay, Louie, you stay right there. And we are going to start. All right. Thank you. We'll come right over here. And has anybody guessed yet who the special guest is?
I don't know who it is. Who would it be?
Okay. Voila.
Okay.
It is Kenny.
Hi. So today's the 24th of December, and Christmas is tomorrow. And Tuesday, we're going to be getting together with some family, sort of a potluck. So what are you going to bring? I'm going to make some bread. So I don't know if anybody knows this, but my great-grandmother on my mom's side, in Lithuania had a bakery, and no one ever taught me how to bake, but I just sort of figured it out. Anyway, we're going to make some bread today. Normally I just make regular bread, but today, because it's the holidays, I'm going to add some chopped pecans and some cranberries. And you can use butter, but I have better luck with it holding a little bit longer with Crisco. It may sound gross, but it works really well. And I'm going to use some active yeast here, and I'm going to show you how I make sure that the bread is going to rise by testing the yeast. And got some different ingredients, and I'll explain all that later. But I just wanted to, yeah, I've got these. I picked these up at the grocery store. It's going to make 10 mini loaves of bread. So we're going to get started. When we come back, I'll have the dry ingredients, and then Annie can come back, and I'll explain more with what I'm doing.
All
Thanks.
right. Yay. Okay, hold on.
Okay, we're back. I do this at home a lot, so I just wanted to share what the recipe is. It's an old recipe from a Betty Crocker cookbook. An old Betty Crocker cookbook, probably from the World War II era. But I just call this my basic Betty Crocker bread, except I'm going to have a few additions. But basically, I'm not sure how much flour I'm going to end up with, but I start with, well, first off, it's 4 to 6 cups of flour. They do sell bread flour. I wasn't able to find it, but this is premium gold medal flour, so I'm using this right now. And I think so far I just put in 2 cups of flour. So far. We like to do our dry ingredients first. And so now I've got, in here I've already mixed up, I've got 3 tablespoons of sugar, and I've got 1 tablespoon of salt. I've already warmed up the water, so I'm just going to put this in right now.
Do you bring the water to a boil?
I just get it really warm, because what I want to do is, I'm just going to shake this up. I have a mixer, but what I do is, before I even go any further, so the amendments to this recipe are, you can use brown sugar, but I just happen to have some regular granulated sugar open, so I'm using that. But I am going to add some cranberries and pecans to this recipe. And right here, there is some warm water, and I'm going to add the yeast when we come back. I'm not going to do it now, because what you need to do is it's actually okay right now. It's like a baby's bottle. You don't want the water to be too hot when you're mixing the formula. So if you can put your finger in and it doesn't sting and feel hot, then you're good. So what I'm going to do now is, I've got some Red Star active yeast. Think about yeast as it does go bad. So I always like to start with fresh yeast. And basically this is what it looks like.
Okay.
And I'm going to, it calls for 2 packets. So for me, 2 packets is about 4 teaspoons. So I'm going to put in 4 teaspoons of yeast, and I'll explain why I'm doing this right in just a second. So there's 4 tablespoons of yeast. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it up. So what am I doing? I'm stirring it up. I added a little sugar in here because sugar helps activate the yeast.
How much sugar?
I put in a few teaspoons just to add to this water. This is like a half a cup of water, of warm water. I also use good water, so I don't use tap water. I like to use reverse osmosis or something from the store in a jug that is purified water. I just think everything works better that way. Coffee, soup, bread. So anyway, I'm mixing this up. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, hopefully the yeast will rise, and we'll start putting our ingredients together with the mixing bowl over here. So
Okay.
We'll take a break. Thanks, Annie. Is it on video?
Go.
Hi. Okay, so guess what? This is good yeast. As you can see, it's active, it's alive. If I let it go along, it's going to start overflowing because this stuff is bubbling.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then
So what are you doing with it?
Well, I'm going to add it. Okay, so right now, these are the dry ingredients. So right now I've got 2 cups of flour. I've got 3 tablespoons of sugar and 1 tablespoon of salt. So I'm just going to mix these up right now, like so, right?
Okay.
And I'll be needing more flour, but right now I'm going to start adding some of the wet ingredients.
Okay.
So here's some yeast, right here's our yeast. That's going to cause the bread to rise. So there it is. So the yeast is in there now. And I've got some warm water here. So I'm just going to get all this yeast to make sure we use it all, right?
Okay.
Okay. At home in Minnesota, we have a KitchenAid mixer, which it's all set up for making bread. I'm sure I can do this because I know my great-grandmother's watching me right now. She's watching, make sure I don't make any mistakes. I took an egg, and the egg is going to add, it's going to help keep it moist. So I'm going to add an egg, just one. And I'm going to mix this up right now just by hand. But if you come in closer, we've got a lot of liquid. And what we want to do is we want to get this elastic, and we also want to mix in this egg, which hasn't broken. You can still see the yolk in there; it hasn't busted yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this over here, and I'm going to grab some more flour, and I'm going to put in another cup of flour. By the time we're done, we probably will have used 6 cups. So what I'm going to do now is just so it doesn't get too elastic, I've got a mixer here, a portable mixer. Back in the day when my grandmother had a bakery, they didn't even have electricity, I don't think. They probably did this all by hand.
Okay, should we come back?
Yeah, we can come back. You can see we just broke the egg, and just one more thing. You can use margarine or butter. I have really good luck with Crisco. I'll put in probably half a cup of Crisco. It's just going to help it stay moist.
Okay.
Otherwise, the bread is only good for a day. This will help it last a couple of days.
Because this is a natural bread.
Yeah. So we'll come back and show you where we're at.
All right.
So okay, so far if you want to take a look over here, Annie.
Okay.
Right now, there's about 4 cups of flour with all the ingredients.
And you put Crisco in.
Just a little bit, like between 1/4 and 1/2 of a cup.
Okay.
Now I'm going to add a half a cup of nuts. I've got some.
You don't crush them down?
The mixer will, but these are some chopped pecans.
Okay.
They could be chopped a little bit, but you know what? I think once they're in the bread, they're going to be a little more identifiable.
Okay.
So I'm just like kind of doing this by, I don't know, intuition. So I've got the pecans in. That's, I don't know, half a cup or so, a little bit more. I'm going to do the same thing with the cranberries right now. See the cranberries going in?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen now is because right now the consistency of the flour is good. If it's too dry, it's going to be hard to mix these in.
Okay.
So I'm going to mix these in, and when we come back, I'm hoping for an elastic, I'm going to add some more flour. I'm hoping for a more elasticity so we can roll it out.
Okay.
And then what's going to happen is I'll explain it later. So
Okay.
stay tuned.
Okay.
So now we've got 5 cups of I've got 5 cups of flour, and I just ended up using this whole bag of pecans. It's basically 4 ounces.
Okay.
It's not a big deal. It's going to be good. Unless you have a nut allergy, then you're in trouble. But, so I don't want to go too crazy with the mixer because I've already added 5 cups of flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once I'm done with this, mixing it like this, I'm going to go back to doing this by hand. I'm just going to try to get this, because otherwise it all just gathers on the beater like that. So what I'm going to try to do is...
That's why you need a dough hook.
And we have that at home. I just don't have it. You probably have one in the drawer. I just didn't see it.
I don't know.
But anyway, I'm just going to get all this off.
Okay.
When we come back, I'll have the flour over here on the pad, and I'll start kneading it, and you'll see how we do that. So stay tuned.
All right.
So okay, between takes, I did add 2 teaspoons of vanilla for flavor. So anyway, I've probably got 5.5 cups of flour in here right now. It's pretty elastic, and basically with a mixer like that, it's just gonna kind of wear out the motor. So what I'm gonna do now is just mix this up just a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little more flour because I want it to be elastic.
Well, wait, is it sticky?
It's getting there. If you can look right here, you can see the whole idea is for it to kind of form into a ball.
Oh.
So that's why we need to keep adding flour. There's some stuck to the sides of the bowl.
But you only have 1 egg. How can it really...
Because I added the Crisco.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to transfer this. What do you call this kind of mat, Annie?
It's a baking mat where you can do, roll out your doughs, and you can make pies on it. And
yeah, so we have a lot.
It's rubber, so, you can...
Yeah, we have a lot. We have a lot of
It's
material.
a baking mat.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is you're going to watch me do this real quick. But basically I got most everything out of here, right? And we're going to clean that up because once I get done with what I'm doing right now, and my hands are clean.
Okay.
We're going to have to add some more flour, quite a bit actually, because we need to make this into, it has to be elastic. So what I'm going to do is, and this is where it's more of an art. I can't tell you like it's 7 or 8 cups. It's just, you just have to feel when it's right. It's just sort of like the baker's touch, right?
Okay.
So right now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of mixing this all in. And it's still pretty liquid. I probably could have put in a little bit less liquid, but we're going to make this work. So we're still going to need more flour. So why don't you do a cut?
Okay.
We'll come back and you'll see where we're at.
All right. Oh boy. Okay, so we're back, and now this is what the bread looks like, Kenny.
Yeah, quite a bit of kneading. I probably added another, I said 6 cups of flour. I bet you there's 6.5 in here now, but it's got a nice consistency. You just kind of want it, you don't want it to be too loose. You want it to be kind of doughy like it is right now.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil. I've got the measuring cup out, but I'll tell you what. I'm just going to coat the bottom of this pan with a little bit of olive oil. Like so. That's even a lot. But do you see what I did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going
to cover the bottom.
Well, it's not to cover the bottom. What's going to happen is I'm going to take this right now, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to put it in here, but I'm also going to rotate it.
Oh.
So the olive oil is now coating the outside of the dough.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Let's see.
You see how it's covering it right now? Do you see the olive oil has made a coating?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So now what's going to happen is the purpose of the yeast is for the bread to rise. So I've pretty much got this in a ball, right?
Okay.
So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to wash off my hands real quick, and I'm going to get all this off my hands. Okay, I'm going to take a towel. I'm going to cover the bowl. It's a nice day out here in Palm Springs, so I'm just going to take it outside.
Oh.
I'm going to put it on the picnic table. In about 45 minutes, it's going to rise. And when I come back, then we're going to roll it out and we're going to put it into loaves, and I'll show you how that's done.
All right. Well,
Okay.
good job, Kenny.
Thanks. It's fun. I'm glad we're doing this. So,
Yeah.
hey, hope you guys enjoy it.
And you can make bread in the trailer park. You can make it anywhere.
Yep, exactly. Hi, everybody. So it's been about close to an hour since I manufactured the dough, got it to the right consistency. It has to rise, and that's why we leave it outside covered up. So if you take a look now, it should be doubled in size.
Wow, look how big that grew.
It did, didn't it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have enough bread to open a bakery. more than these pads. But I'm gonna take this out right now.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a lot of dough.
All right.
Yep.
So what's the next step, boss?
I'm gonna roll it out like this. And I've got these little pans to fill right here. So you can see I've got this. This is called a Mrs. Anderson's Bakery. Where did you get this? It's a nice little mat for making bread.
Yeah,
You remember where you got it?
Just at a cooking shop, or
cool.
you know, Target or whatever. Everybody carries them.
So it's got a nice consistency, and I just washed my hands, and I'm just kind of. I don't know how many of you got. 1, 2, 3. We have 9. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So we have 9 or 10 little pans, so we're gonna have plenty to make. So basically, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this in half right now. Just get this out of the way, and we're not gonna need a lot of dough to make these little breads, but we do have that bigger bread pan there. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take this Baker's Joy.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do one. We're not gonna do them all, bore you here, but so this I'm just spraying in here so it doesn't stick when we bake it.
Okay.
So basically, just going to take a little piece like this. We're not going to need much. I'm just going to get this out of the way. And in 1 second here, I've got a little interference. Okay. Ooh, one more. There, I got it off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is
Get it together, honey.
I'm working on it, hon. All right, so this is going to be a bread. It looks pretty small. It's going to go in here. We're going to cover it again, and it's going to rise.
Oh, you're going to cover them again?
Yes, yeah. The bread has to rise twice.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll take a break. In the meantime, I'm going to heat the oven up as hot as I can get it.
Like
and I might even
400?
Need a toaster oven. Yeah, 400 for 35 minutes. If I can get this one up to 400, because it's an RV oven.
yeah, it's the RV oven. Yeah.
And I might have better luck in the toaster oven, so I might just use both ovens and see which one does a better job. So.
It's an experiment.
Yeah, get to work and I'll be back and we'll see what we come up with.
Perfect.
Okay, this is Kenny, and he's out right now. I just decided because this toaster oven gets really hot. It's a Breville. It's decent. It's not. We're gonna get a new one, but it works right now. This is called the second rising for the bread. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook these little ones first. I've got this preheated at 400. And I'm pretty sure I can get 3 of these in here. And I'm going to give this other one a little bit of time, the larger one, to rise. So, okay, so there's 3 breads. It's on bake. The rack, you can just see it's got different settings. So I've actually got it on bake right now. 425 minutes. I'm going to let this one rise a little bit. I'm going to do this one in the toaster oven. So when we come back, we'll take a look and see how well we did with the bread. Thanks. Hi everybody. Well, we're back. I'm tired. I baked a bunch of bread today. It's in the freezer. We're going to have company. We're going to visit some family on Tuesday, so this is just an experimental loaf.
Let's see.
Well, here it is. The other ones, the big one actually came out a little browner, but these were done on the toaster oven.
Okay.
And before we go serve this to our friends and family, I just want to make sure it's okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put cut a little piece here. I can see the cranberries and the nuts.
Well, if you start frothing at the mouth, I'll call 911.
So here we go. It's probably more of a dessert bread. I'll see. I didn't add much sugar, so let me see how it tastes. Oh boy. It's going to be a hit.
Oh, good.
It's really good.
I'm really glad,
We
honey.
have a salad, and then I've got some soup. Annie made some soup with pot stickers. That'll have to be another cooking episode. But
Yeah.
wow.
I think I already made those.
This is good trailer bread, I'll have to say. Right in the trailer. It's pretty darn good.
Okay. All right, so are we done?
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Be healthy.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.